So my last video did pretty well, so I'm assuming you guys like what I'm doing. So now we're going to talk about another prophet, the man who's claimed to be after God's own heart, David. And I'm going to be talking about what he's famously known for, his fight against Goliath. Now let's get into this. Now there was a king named Saul. Saul was very much of a scaredy cat, good looking but a scaredy cat. He couldn't really do much. Now there was a fight between the Israelites and the Philistines. The Philistines were clowning the Israelites because they were getting beat back to back by one dude named Goliath. Goliath was calling out God by his name, saying,
"This is the people that you chose? Your God must be trash then, or I'm really beating up your entire squad."
And no one could do anything about it because he was like gigantic. He was literally whooping their entire forces by himself. Now David was there to hear all that he was saying at that time, because he was with his brothers watching the fight. But when he heard this, he was about to crash out on the Philistine. And after that, his brother got mad at him. Now, while reading this, I was like, what? How are you going to get mad at your brother because he actually wants to do something about this? Versus you guys that have been getting beaten like this for 40 days and nights. Now, when Saul got word of this about David, saying that he could go and beat the Philistine Goliath, it was literally 9-9, he sent right for him. But when he saw he was a young man, he was like, how are you going to beat him? And he said, I got this. David just knew he was him. So David got sent to the battlefield in armor that he couldn't even wear. So he took it off and just picked up 5 smooth stones from a river and went to the battlefield. Now, when David got to the battlefield, Goliath laughed at him and saw how small and tiny he was. And he also said that I really am a dog that you throw me just a stick and no bone. But you know what, I'll squash him just like I did the rest. He started cursing him by his gods and everything. But David was about that timing. He was not going to let up. Through the power of God, David ran to meet Goliath in the middle of the field, grabbed one of his stones, twirled it around, and aimed it towards his head. And immediately the stone sank into his brain and he was immediately knocked out. And not only that, David ran to Goliath, took his sword and cut off his own head and held it up in the air like it was a trophy. David stood on business. But yeah, that is the end. And, that was good. I liked it. If there's any other prophets you want me to go over, I wouldn't mind. And I plan on doing the New Testament later on. So, yeah, later.